There was once a little boy, and he lived in a small town, little shtetl, where there was just one cheder with one Rebbe, and his father, his mazel, the little boy's mazel was that his father was the malamed in the town. So he had to go to the cheder where his father was his teacher. And since the father wanted to show that he's not playing favorites, he would be extra hard on the boy in school. So one night, the little boy is sitting at the table and he's looking sad. And the father says to him, "What's wrong?" He says, "Before I answer, I want to know something. Am I talking now to my father, or am I talking to my teacher?" He says, "We're at home, you're talking to your father." He says, "Okay, so father, tell my teacher to stop being such a jerk." I was coming just now from Connecticut, from Stamford, Connecticut, where they had the Kite of Tuni, which is Chassidim get together and try to be inspired. Not our types of Chassidim, but there's besides Chabad, there's other Chassidim. Not in Crown Heights, but so I was just talking to a friend of mine over there, a colleague, a mechanech, and he was saying to me, how come a parent is called a shutaf, a partner with Hashem in a child? So he told me a gedank, an insight, which I find to be very, very true. He said, what a father can give a child in building that child up is something that only the Eibishter or a parent can provide. Not 10, not 20, not 100 mechanchim can provide the same type of support and foundation and strength for life that a loving, supportive father or mother gives to a child. So in that sense, you're a shutaf, you're a partner with the Eibishter, and that you have koiches that are godlike. A human being, mechanchim and well-meaning, the support system, the village that it takes to raise the child, that's all well and good. But what a father or a mother can provide is godly. That, is a mechlal hein shemei alav. From the positive, affirmative statement, you can infer the negative. And generally, we don't like to mention negative, but I think it needs to be spelled out. That the flip side of the coin is, just like what a father or a mother can provide a child, not 10, not 20, not 100 educators can provide a child in building them up. Chas v'sholem, what a parent can do, even not realizing it, to destroy a child, God forbid, to destabilize a child, not 10, not 20, not 100 strangers can do. We have a godlike power with our children. It's shreklach. It's awesome, the responsibility. We have the ability to send our children into the world with strength and courage and confidence, all by the way that we treat them, or the opposite. So I wanted to mention that tonight is Chof Cheshvan, which is the Yom Haledes of the Rebbe Rashab. And of course, there's the well-known Hayom Yom from Chof Beis Tevis, where the Rebbe Rashab said that just like it is an obligation upon everyone, great and small, to put on tefillin every day. It is an obligation to devote, he says there, half an hour, to devote time every day to the chinuch of your children. So obviously, everything that the Rebbeim say is deep. It has meaning, layers upon layers of meaning. But I just wanted to share one insight about that, which I think can encourage and inspire us as parents to be there for our children the way that we need to be. The Rebbe once asked, how come it's compared to tefillin? There are a lot of mitzvahs deraisa. There's a lot, it says that it's a mitzvah deraisa, it's a biblical commandment. There's a lot of biblical commandments, right? Okay, so it's a biblical commandment that you have to do every day. Okay, but there's commandments you have to do every day also, other than tefillin. Why tefillin? So the Rebbe says that tefillin has two components, shel rosh and shel yad, which is the mind and the heart. So too, in being a parent, in providing the strength and the stability and the support for a child that will last them a lifetime and make them, will make them healthy adults, you have to use your head and you have to use your heart. So what does that mean? What does it mean to use your head? So last week was a yortzeit of Reb Mula Azimov, Olav Shalom, from Paris. And I remember when he passed away, was it 4 or 5 years ago already? And during the Shiva, one of his sons was remembering, talking about their father. So he says, I remember getting up Shabbos morning, every Shabbos morning, this was the routine, and whenever I would get up, whatever time I would get up, I would always find my father sitting at the table already. And he would have 2 sforim always, Lekutei Sichos and Shmusin, the talks and tells. The Yiddish talks and tells. He says, the Lekutei Sichos was to prepare the Farbrengen with a nash in shul after davening. And the Shmusin was to prepare a story that he would tell to us on the walk to shul. Can you imagine if you would have a malamed teaching your son and you would run into him on Kingston and you'd say, oh, by the way, what are you teaching tomorrow? He said, I don't know, I'll wing it. What am I paying tuition for? You're going to wing it. Tell me what's the lesson plan. But think about it. You ask a father, you're walking. You have 20 minutes. It's Shabbos. You're walking to shul with your son. You have 20 minutes. What are you going to talk about? I don't know, whatever comes up. What do you mean, whatever comes up? This is an important meeting with an important person. This is your child. You got to prepare for that. Just like you're not going to wing it with a class or a farbrengen. You're going to prepare, and you're not going to wing it when you walk your kid to shul in the morning. You're going to have a story ready. So that's called using your brain, using your mind. The chinuch takes strategizing, and you have to think about where each kid is holding, what lessons he needs to learn, what he's ready for, what he's not ready for. And you got to plan it out. You don't wing it. That's using the mind in chinuch. And then there's the heart. What's the heart? There's a letter in Igros Chelik Yud Beis. I think the page is Kuf, page 100. And it doesn't say who it is to, but the Rebbe writes to someone. Seems like it's probably a shliach, some type of an askin at least. And the Rebbe says, in your letters to me, I didn't notice that you should mention that you are makdish time to have hashpah on your own children. It's implied from the letter. The guy is writing in, reporting about all the things that he's doing and all the people that he's influencing. And the Rebbe is writing them and saying, that's all well and good, that's great. But I didn't hear what's with your own children. And the lashon the Rebbe uses, he says, to be mashpia on your children, bedarkei nayam, ube'inyonim shel kiruv. Shel kiruv. We think, what's kiruv? Kiruv is for freie Menschen, right? So to them we be nice, to them we be tolerant. To them anything goes, because why? He's a neshama, see the neshama. Look past the tattoos, the earrings, look at the neshama, right? What's the egg and your own children? All of a sudden we're so makbid, we don't see the neshama. No, in yonim shel kiruv, be makar of your child. I was on the phone the other day. Father and a mother called me up. They were asking me questions about their daughter. So, whatever, she's going through a difficult time, teenager, struggling a little bit with Yiddishkeit. Obviously, when struggling with Yiddishkeit, in 2019, almost 2020, nobody really struggles with Yiddishkeit. It's not like a mole. Somebody read a pamphlet from the Maskilim and all of a sudden became aufgeklärt. Struggling with Yiddishkeit today means there's an emotional issue, right? So the teenage daughter, she's struggling. And I'm speaking to the parents, trying to give them some direction, some chizuk. And basically, I'm telling them, I'm saying, look, I can't give you such spelled out advice. I don't know your child, I don't know your situation, but I can just tell you in general, be close with this child. Be close with all your children, but especially one who's in pain, who's hurting, who's struggling. Be close with your child. Bond with your child. Spend time with your child. And it wasn't really clicking, or maybe I wasn't explaining it well, so I said to the guy, the shliach, I said, do you have fundraising responsibilities? He says, oh yeah. In fact, his wife, she laughed. She's like, oh yeah, that's all he does. So I said, imagine, and I named a big gvir from this guy's town. I don't want to say the gvir because then you know the town or whatever, it's not Negeya. So I mentioned a big gvir. I said, imagine so-and-so, Pliny's daughter, somehow you and your wife had some encounter with her and somehow she entered your life. How much time would you spend figuring out how to get this girl to love your family? How much time would you spend to find out what makes this girl tick? What is she like? What is she like? What does she like? Both. He says, this Gvir's daughter. I said, yeah, so let me tell you something. If this Gvir would write you a check for $10 million, you're nachas from this child. And by nachas from this child, I don't mean in a selfish way. What I mean is the satisfaction of being able to see a child not only be released from pain, but to have strength and confidence and to be emotionally stable. That feeling when a parent sees that my child feels okay, my child feels that life is good, my child feels I'm good, I'm okay, I'm worthy. A parent who sees a child who feels good and feels worthy and validated, I said that's worth more than $10 million. So whatever amount of effort and time you would spend being mekarev, so-and-so, the Gvir's daughter, spend that same time and effort, energy, get to know your child. Get to know her, get to know what makes her tick. That's the heart of chinuch. In yonim shel kiruv. Kiruv is not just for strangers. You can even start to be mekarev before they're struggling. I was told 15 minutes. We have an incredible program, by the way. I myself am very eager to hear our speakers. Mrs. Heller's here from Lakewood, right? Yeah. Moshe is here, one of my favorite people in the world. So, 30-second version. I know. If I could have done 30 seconds, why didn't I do that in the first place? It's like the Friede could have is my modem. There's a kitzer after each ice. Use your head and use your heart. Use your smart Jewish brain that Hashem gave you to figure out and plan and make strategies how you are going to cater to the individual needs of every child. And use your heart. Connect. Bond. Show your child that they are more important to you than anyone else in the world. And with that, we become a shutuf with the Eibishter. We have godlike power to make a mensch, to make strong, healthy, confident young men and women. You should all have lots of Chassidic nachas from your children.